5 most mysterious and dreadful rivers in the world. English novelist Emma Smith has this beautiful quote: "Life is like a river. Sometimes it sweeps you gently along, and sometimes the rapids come out of nowhere." And just like life, some rivers in the world are surrounded with mysteries that make them dreadful, like these rivers that flow wildly with notoriety. Number 5. Missouri River. Rising in the Rocky Mountains of western Montana, the Missouri River is North America's longest river. During the 19th century, it was one of the main routes for America's westward expansion, where pioneers, traders, and explorers traversed. By the turn of the 20th century, the river's basin was extensively developed for irrigation, flood control, and the generation of hydroelectric power that greatly improved man's life. But since the 1980s, the Big Muddy, as the Missouri River is also called, has become a secluded, silent, and notorious dumping ground for dead bodies. Of the numerous floating bodies found in the river, the most menacing criminal acts happened between 1982 and 1995. Most brutal were the murders of 7 women whose legs were cut off, and that of Viola McCoy, whose dismembered remains floated in the river. Authorities speculated that killers were drawn to the river because many of its banks and bridges are secluded, and its churning currents washed the victims' bodies downstream into the city. Sadly, it's man's dark side that marred the Missouri River's natural beauty with notoriety. Number 4. Kali River. Including fish in our diet is highly recommended for good health. But can human flesh be good for fish too? That's the seemingly improbable story behind the mystery surrounding the reported disappearances of some persons in the Kali River, found in between India and Nepal. These bizarre vanishings were determined as fatal attacks on humans by a purportedly man-eating goonch catfish. 3 sudden disappearances in the Kali River were reported. First in April 1998, when a 17-year-old teenager was dragged underwater as witnessed by his girlfriend and other people. Another boy suffered the same fate 3 months later, and in both circumstances, the victim's remains were not recovered. Then, in 2007, a Nepalese young man was also dragged down the river, and even a domestic water buffalo became a victim too. An underwater investigation by British biologist Jeremy Wade confirmed group sightings of goonch, 6 of which were man-sized, and a 6-foot-long, 73-kilogram goonch was captured that could devour a small boy. Wade believed an even larger man-eater goonch likely existed that craves for human flesh. Number 3. The Ganges River. The Ganges River is a transboundary river of the Indian subcontinent and is one of the most sacred rivers to Hindus. It is worshipped in Hinduism and personified as the goddess Ganga. Millions of Indians who live along its 2,525-kilometer course depend on the river for their daily needs. However, despite being regarded as holy, the Ganges River is utterly polluted with raw sewage, plastic bags and bottles, industrial wastes and chemicals, animal carcasses, human wastes, and human remains, and partially cremated corpses. Yes, millions of Hindus want to die, or at least have their ashes spread in the Ganges, believing that they will achieve moksha, or eternal liberation. Thus, in India's oldest city and religious capital, Varanasi, it wasn't surprising for the villagers to stumble upon 100 corpses washed up in a canal in the Ganges River in 2015. On a daily basis, an average of 30 to 100 bodies are left afloat in the river after being set ablaze following a riverside cremation. Just imagine how unclean the water is. No wonder it's referred to as the Holy River from Hell. Number 2. Congo River. Africa has its own version of Scotland's world-famous Loch Ness monster, called Mokele-mbembe, said to inhabit the Congo River basin. It is described as enormously big, with a long, muscular neck attached to a small head and a long tail as well. For generations starting in 1776, there had been reports of its sightings in the Congo River region, but it was not until 1980 that the rest of the world knew about it thanks to mainstream media. Dr. Roy P. Mackle, a biologist and biochemist, set out to Africa to research about it and came up with an astonishing conclusion. The Mokele-mbembe was possibly sauropods, a dinosaur species that had become extinct 65 million years ago. In 1986, a man named Roy Nugent snapped a photo of a long-necked creature in the swampy environment, but was demanded by tribesmen to destroy the film, lest they would be killed by the creature. More recently, in 2006, Richard Freeman of the Center for Fortean Zoology did an investigation and believed in the creature's existence, but suspected it's a 30-foot-long unknown type of monitor lizard. Number 1. The Durham Kabul River. If other rivers are associated with mysterious deaths and disappearance, the Durham Kabul River in Indonesia, New Guinea, is infamous for something truly dreadful: cannibalism. Specifically, the Karawai tribe is among the last known cannibals on Earth. In 1961, Michael, the son of then New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller, disappeared while collecting artifacts along the Durham Kabul River. He was never to be found and believed to be a victim of the man-eating tribe who threatened to kill outsiders they referred to as Laleo, or ghost demons. In 2006, Australian journalist Paul Raphael became the first Western white man to come face-to-face with the tribe's Leeton clan and got in-depth knowledge about the cannibals dwelling in the deep jungles by the Durham Kabul riverbanks. For them, they believe that a kakua, or a witch man from the netherworld, is responsible for their tribesmen's mysterious death. As the witch possesses the dead, they must pay back by eating the lifeless person as part of their revenge. So aside from killer reptiles and diseases, the Karawai tribe is reason enough to stay away from the Durham Kabul River. Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for your daily dose of voodoo videos.